The October storm that made me. They weren't just words, they were a sentence. Get out of my house. I don't want a broken daughter. That's what my father said before shoving me into a gale and locking the world behind me. I was 15 with only a backpack of calculus homework, as an October tempest soaked through my shoes. 3 hours later, a police call drained the color from his face. But for me it was already too late. My name is Sasha Vance. I'm 28 now in a Seattle loft watching rain trace the glass. On my table lies a letter. Shaky script on hospice stationery. After 12 years of silence, my dying father wants to see me. Says he's sorry. The rain always brings me back. October 19, 2011. I'd aced a chemistry exam that day. Normal thoughts for a sophomore. I didn't know that in an hour, I'd be fighting to stay alive on a deserted road. The house felt like a held breath when I entered. My father, red-faced, shook with rage, clutching cash and empty prescription vials. My sister, Elise, stood behind him, 4 years older, the picture of devastated concern. But I saw the triumph in her eyes. Our stepmother, Diane, just watched from the kitchen, silent. The accusations erupted like a scripted play. Theft, drug deals, hidden evidence. Elise's discoveries. My protests died in my throat. He'd already convicted me. Elise had spent years building this moment, painting me as the unstable shadow to her golden child son. When he dragged me to the door and threw my backpack at me, the storm was his accomplice. The lock clicked. I was homeless. I walked on autopilot toward the only sanctuary I knew. My Nana Beth's, 8 miles away. In soaking jeans and a thin sweater, each mile was a marathon. The cold became a silent predator. Hypothermia's fog promised that resting by a ditch was a good idea. My legs failed at mile 5. I was found not by a stranger, but by Martha Cole, a retired school counselor with 30 years of spotting lies. She wrapped me in her car blanket and called 911. She saw a story in my shivering silence, and she decided to listen. At the hospital, my father and Elise arrived expecting a repentant girl. Instead, they found Martha, a stone-faced CPS agent, and a police officer. My Nana Beth arrived like a force of nature, all of 5'2" of fury. You threw away your child on a rumor? She seethed at my father. By midnight, an emergency judge granted her temporary custody. The investigation was Elise's undoing. The stolen $600 was an ATM withdrawal timestamped when I was in physics lab. Security footage clearly showed Elise. The pills traced back to her boyfriend's recently stolen prescription. A burner phone was bought at a gas station her car frequented. The real horror was the forged checks. Over $20,000 siphoned from our father over 2 years. My mother's life insurance, left for my education, was Elise's real target. If I were institutionalized, she could petition to control it. In court, the evidence was a tidal wave. Elise's performance crumbled. Our stepmother, under oath, admitted hearing Elise say, "It's all set," the day before. My father sat hollowed out, finally seeing the monster he'd nurtured. Elise received a felony conviction, probation, restitution, and a permanent restraining order. My father lost all parental rights. I built a life with Nana Beth. I learned to trust, to breathe. I became an architect. I fell for Leo, a man whose kindness is his strength. And then the letter. The hospice was quiet. My father, diminished by a recent stroke, wept when I entered. He apologized in broken sentences. I let him finish. "I forgive you," I said, and relief washed over him. "But understand this. I forgive you so I can stop carrying this. You chose the easy lie. I built a beautiful life in spite of you. You have to live with that." I stayed briefly, speaking of safe things. As I left, a nurse whispered, "Your sister came last week." He refused her. The final irony. The golden child was finally the one locked out. I walked into the autumn sun. That storm 13 years ago didn't end me. It rerouted me. I lost a family that wasn't mine and found the one that was. Leo held me when I got home, no questions needed. This spring, we're marrying in Nana Beth's garden. And that poster of the band I loved at 15? It's framed in my office. Some dreams survive the storm. You just have to walk through the rain to find them.